A warm hello to everyone for checking out again this video of reading exercise. Once again, we are on the chapter classification of fossils. For a long time, naming and classifying living things and their fossils was based on a system devised in mid-18th century. However, recent years have seen the rise of a new system which its supporters content is based more on logic and less on judgment, known as cladistical analysis. Most fossil hunters name their finds according to a system devised in 1758 by Swedish-born plant biologist Carolus Linnaeus, Carl von Linné. I have read about him in my primary classes, yes. In a vast work System and Nature, Linnaeus proposed that each kind of species or living thing should have two names. The first was its genus name, a genus being a group of similar or closely related species. The second name was unique to the species. From about 1780 to Linnaean system was gradually applied to fossils as well as living or extinct species. So one of the genus names for specific kinds of shellfish called brachiopods, which are commonly fossils as lingula. Individual species include Lingula grenadieri, Anartina cornea, and dozens of others. Genus and species names are usually printed in italics, while names of other groups like classes or orders are not. The origin of names. Usually the scientific names for living things and fossils are derived from Latin and another ancient language. They are international and recognized by scientists all around the world, no matter what their own spoken or written languages. The meaning of a name was maybe based on a particular features of the genus or species concerned, or perhaps it is found or who first discovered it. Taxonomy. Linnaeus binomial nomenclature has been extended and refined into hierarchy of classification for all living things. The science of classifying organisms living or extinct is known as taxonomy, and its basic unit of building block is the species. The species included in the same genus are selected by studying similarities and differences. The same is done with genera when they are grouped into family and so on, into large groups. The biggest or topmost groups are kingdoms, working from the top down. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Levels of identification. The level of identification for fossil within the hierarchy of groups varies hugely. According to practical consideration, amount of expertise, resources available, and scientific needs, some amateur paleontologists consider the label tribaloid is enough for a particular specimen. This is the everyday version of the scientific name for the class tribaloid. However, other enthusiasts with more time resources may wish to attempt a more accurate identification, perhaps even down to species level. Cladistics. From the 1960s, a different method of grouping living and extinct organisms has gradually been taken over from the traditional Linnaean version, especially among professional biologists, paleontologists, and life scientists. It is known as the Claristic method of phylogenetic systematics. It was devised by German biologist and expert on flies, Willy Hennig. In the Linnaean system, the features or traits used to group organisms are often a matter of discussion or opinion. In cladistics, these features are especially identified as synomorphisms, a unique derived character. Each unique derived character or feature arose only once. Descendants of the ancestor in which the character arose all share it. They, and only they, form a group known as clade. This is an evolution-based group. All members of clade are descended from the same common ancestors. As evolution continues, different derived characters evolve, so clades split into subclades and so on and on. This creates the family tree type format shown above. Cladograms, for example, assume that birds evolved from small meat-eating dinosaurs. Then birds should be included within the dinosaur clade as part of it. In the Linnaean system, birds are separate and affect larger groups than dinosaurs. Birds are the class Aves, while dinosaurs are the order Dinosauria. Cladistics uses branching diagrams known as cladograms to show the evolutionary relationship between groups of organisms. These diagrams show branching point where new derived characteristics and therefore new groupings appear. This testable system is less prone to opinions and errors than the linear version, and its administrative logic can be applied to other areas of life besides science. However, for most practical and everyday purposes, the overall groupings of the linear system are still in use. So that's all for today. The chapter was classification of fossils. There you go. All the best. Take care. Bye.